Okay guys, so I'm just in the middle of making my keto cinnamon rolls, and I know I've had a few people that were not really understanding how to spread out the dough. So I just wanted to quickly show you a couple of options that you can use to spread out the dough. It's a really sticky dough. Because it's keto, it's not one of those doughs that easily rolls out. So this is the dough. This is what it looks like. I just slap it onto some parchment paper, and I've got mine onto a large cookie sheet, so that way I can use the cookie sheet as a guide when I'm spreading it out, because I want it to look like a rectangle. Okay, so option number one is to cover the dough with either wax paper or another sheet of parchment paper. So you would put that on top of the dough, and then you would, this is going to take some time guys, so be really patient with it. And parchment paper is probably better than wax paper because the wax paper tends to tear a little more easier, but I'm just using this just to show you how to do it. So what you want to do is you want to press down. Okay, just keep pressing, and you can even put your hands in the center and spread it out like that. Press, and this takes a lot of time, so you just keep at it. Okay, and then try and go from the center and push outwards. Try not to tear the parchment paper with your fingers. Okay, try really hard not to dig your fingers in. And you're just going to keep pressing. And I usually hold on to the tray when I'm using one hand because it tends to slip around. So you're just going to push. Size that you want. Now you see how this is coming up over the edge of the tray, the cookie tray. I don't know if you can see that. We don't want that to happen, so we're actually going to press that down. So I'm going to show you another option that you can do that's a little bit easier. So another option is I've got some oil. Okay, this is just some olive oil, and I'm going to actually put some on my hands. So you're going to grease your hands, rub it together. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And turn it that way. There we go. All right, so you're going to grease your hands with some oil, and then you're going to actually, don't spread because the oil will come off too much in this, and the dough will start to stick to your hands. So you're just going to gently press. Okay, and you're going to notice it's still going to stick a bit. Dip your hands in a little more oil and press. Very easy, gently. Press. Once it starts sticking, dip your hands in more oil. I'm going to push that into the corner. I want to try and get it into as much of a rectangle shape as possible. If you see a little hole, just kind of use your hands to push it together, the dough back together. But this is probably the hardest part of the actual process for baking the cinnamon rolls. Okay, so that's pretty even. I'm pretty happy with that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cinnamon, and I really like a lot of cinnamon in my cinnamon rolls, so I'm actually just going to sprinkle cinnamon all over the top. So this will give you 12 rolls, okay guys? So that's basically it, and I'm gonna pop this in the oven for 5 minutes at 375. Okay guys, so I just took my dough out of the oven, so it was in there for 5 minutes. And the reason why we do that is because the dough will then become like a regular dough. When it bakes, it kind of bakes into a partially baked. It's kind of like the texture of an actual cinnamon roll dough, okay? So it's easier to roll. Okay, so now I've got my filling, and I'm just going to put that all over the dough. I'm trying to avoid the edges. You don't want to go too close to the edges, otherwise because it's already going to roll, ooze out the sides already just from this little bit in the center. So try not to get too close to the edges. And I'm going to spread that around. This is going to be a little bit sloppy when you're doing it, and for me filming it, it's going to be even sloppier because I'm doing it in a rush for the video. So just bear with me and just take your time when you're doing this at home. Don't go as fast as I am, but I'm going to try and show you this as quickly as possible. So basically what you're going to do, obviously it's the long ways, okay? You see it's the long way. You're going to use your parchment paper to help you roll. This is going to be a messy job. Be patient, guys. You're going to press down the sides. Your hands are going to get messy doing this as well, and you're going to see why in a second. So you roll that. If my hands don't get messy, I'll be surprised. So then you want to fold down your parchment paper so it doesn't get in the way. And now you're going to roll some more using your fingers to kind of guide the center to make sure that it rolls. So far so good. Okay, good. Now I'm going to tuck that in. Okay, any sides that are not rolling properly, just tuck it in with your fingers. See, I'm getting already in a little bit of a mess. Fold the parchment paper again and roll using your fingers to hold it in place. Roll, roll, roll. Like that. You may have to hold on to the tray. That's okay. Now you see how this is popping out? I want to tuck that back in. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, but just do your best. And then we're going to roll. I'm going to put my fingers in the center because that seems to be oozing out there. Roll it again. Okay. And you're going to pull the parchment paper down again. Now see, it pops out like that. Tuck it back in. Again, it's not going to be perfect because when you put it in the tray and you slice it, it becomes a big mess. So just be patient. And roll one more time as best you can. Okay. Just like that. Now we're going to take the parchment paper off. We're going to use our hands to kind of make it even. See how messy that gets? Don't worry about it. It's okay. Just like that. And now comes another messy part, is the slicing. This is going to be very, very messy and it's not going to look great, but that's okay. So basically what I do is I find the center as much as I can, as best I can. I judge the center. Okay, and see how that gets a bit doughy and messy on the knife? That's okay. And then I cut, again, each piece into the center. So we'll start with this side. Okay, just like that. And now I cut each of these into 3s because I want to make sure it's 12 in total. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Starting with this side, cutting it in the center. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See how messy that is? See how it's getting on the knife? That's okay. Don't worry about that. Okay guys, so we've got them sliced. Now what we're going to do, you're going to see that they're going to look like they're falling apart. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're going to start with this side. I like to use this Okay, this is actually an icing spreader for a cake, but I use this because it fits perfectly underneath the dough, the rolls. So, gonna go under, gonna pull it apart. So that one actually was pretty good. You're gonna sit it into a greased muffin pan, just like that. So that one was okay. As we go, they might get a little messier. Hold on to the parchment paper so that it doesn't, let me see here, hold on to the parchment paper as you're scooping it, okay? Scoop, 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 and then use your hands and plop it in. But look how messy, see how it starts to come apart? That's okay, it does not have to be perfect. Try another one. Scoop, scoop, scoop. This one's really falling apart, it's really doughy, look at that, that's okay. Pop it in to the muffin pan, okay? Scoop, scoop, scoop. Pop it in to the greased. Look how that's falling apart, that's okay. Scoop it off with your finger, stuff it in. I promise you it will still turn out, okay? These keto cinnamon rolls are absolutely delicious, they're amazing, and once they're fully baked, they actually go into a really nice shape. They don't look like they're falling apart at all, so. Scoop, put it in. The more in the center you go, the more doughy and messy it looks. See that? That's okay. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Just like that. Scoop and place it on. See, it's messy. Stuff it in. It's okay. This one here. I'm gonna go on this side. And scoop that off with your finger, stuff it in. I'm doing this really fast, guys, because I don't, oh, and I cut my parchment paper, but that's okay. There we go. I don't want to take too long showing you guys how to do this. Scoop, 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 stuff it in, okay? It's messy, that's okay. 2 more to go. Scoop, stuff it in. Now this one's really messy, see that? That's okay. Just stuff it in there. Let it turn out. And then this one is the last one. We're gonna stuff it in. The end ones usually turn out really nice. Okay, so that is it. Now I'm gonna plop these cinnamon rolls into the oven, and I'm gonna bake them for about 9 minutes. You can bake them anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes, just depends on your oven. So I'm gonna do 9 minutes for mine. Okay guys, so this is the result of my cinnamon rolls after they've baked. I did a double batch today, so I've got a lot more than 12. I've got 24 total. And I've let them cool a tiny bit and popped them out of the muffin pan. And basically they're all done and they're ready to have the icing put on top of them, which you can find the full recipe on my YouTube channel. I will put the link in the description. But basically I just wanted to show you guys how to properly do these rolls and how to roll them, because I was getting a lot of questions about that. So again, check out the recipe, it's on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope this video helped you.